State Senator Barrow Peacock back again today. Hey, Mr. Barrow, welcome back to KEEL. How you doing?
Good morning, and I have to tell you, the app is great. In Baton Rouge, we're using it down here. I know other people are listening in down here to the show, and it really does work well to keep us all informed.
Shout out to Red Stick.
So.
Oh, Erin, Erin is a Baton Rouge resident.
Yeah, which means Red Stick. Okay.
And she has just recently discovered that that's what it means.
That's not true.
But down to the serious stuff.
Yeah, please.
Is anything going to get done? Are we doomed? Is there going to be another special session? Is there light at the end of the tunnel?
I would say I'm very optimistic now compared to yesterday morning. People are starting to sit across the table from each other, coming to a consensus. The budget was passed out of the House yesterday, and it was passed by strong margins, over 90 votes for the budget and the supplemental budget.
In your mind, pardon me, in your mind, is it a decent budget?
It's better than it was. I mean, we've got some more revenue in there. They budgeted in the third of a penny. So that budget's now going to go to our Senate Finance Committee, and we're going to hear testimony from different agencies. We're going to work on the budget on the Senate side. We will, the Finance Committee will report that budget to the Senate floor tomorrow, and then we'll vote on the budget and the revenue bill probably on Sunday, send it back to the House. We'll see if the House can agree with this or not, and I'm optimistic that we'll wrap this up on Monday.
Now, when we talked to you yesterday, you planned to vote against the Senate version of there was going to be a Senate bill that was like a half a penny and permanent. What is the status of that? Has that ceased to exist?
I think that what will happen when that bill comes to the floor, there will be dramatic changes to that bill.
To be more in line with the House, you think?
I think it'll be more in line with the House. It might be, instead of a third of a penny, it'll probably be either a fourth or a half a penny. I do not believe it will be permanent. I think that it will have a sunset. I think it will be very close to what the House sent to the Senate, but instead of being a third, it might be a little bit more, and that's based on what our Finance Committee is going to listen to testimony and try to make sure that we're meeting the needs. But I will say there are going to be cuts.
That's what I was going to ask you. What cuts do you think realistically are going to happen?
I think they're going to be cuts, but they're not going to be dramatic cuts. I think we will be anywhere from $100 to $200 million short of what the governor wants. But we're going to be able to operate our guys. It still will be a $29 billion plus budget, which is a huge budget for our state. And let's get our economy growing. We don't get out of this problem until we get more private sector jobs in our state.
So
what about tops? 80% funding? Is that where you think it'll fall?
It'll be somewhere in that range, hopefully a little bit higher than 80%. Also, higher ed will be funded more than what Dr. Henderson was talking to you about 2 days ago. The earned income tax credit bill that we were talking about yesterday was killed in the House committee yesterday. So that $21 million is not something we have to worry about anymore.
Now, I had asked you yesterday, and this is my phrasing, not yours. I said, do you anticipate more hysteria and threats from the governor? And once again, my words, not yours, but you said, yeah, kinda.
Yeah, I think
in your mind, has this changed? Is this, do you think, a budget that John Bell can live with?
I think it will be one that he will live with. I think he will say he doesn't like parts of it. But I think you're seeing the legislature come to a consensus with the strong votes coming out of the House, with people sitting across the table from each other saying, what can we do? What can we live with? And where we're going to have some cuts. Everything's not going to be fully funded, but we're going to, we'll have a 5-year probably temporary sales tax, lower than what it is currently now. But, we will hopefully get our economy growing.
Would you bet on, pardon me, would you bet on a third of a penny?
Would I
do you think it's going to be a third of a penny?
I think it will be a third of a penny or maybe a little higher, but that's the House voted on a third of a penny, so I think it will at least be a third of a penny.
Barrow, we're talking to Senator Barrow Peacock. Let me ask you, on the House side, there were some protesters saying that you guys were adopting an immoral budget. Do you anticipate that on the Senate side as y'all are wrapping things up, and are you concerned?
I think you'll see those people today at the Capitol and tomorrow as testimonies being heard in the committee, and then on Sunday on the Senate floor, I think the chamber will be full, and there will be people who are upset with the budget. But I think the legislature is really doing today in finance. They'll bring all those agency heads there and say, what, as the budget is presented now, where does your agency stand? Can they make this work? And what needs to be adjusted?
Now, I am a little concerned, and I know you voted no, about the increased, I think it was by $21 million, the tax credit.
Right. That died yesterday in the House committee.
Did it? I did not see that. So that's so basically, as I had described it yesterday, the earned income tax credit, it was like a $21 million in my mind giveaway. And what I described it to yesterday was, and you kind of said, yeah, that's pretty close. I said it's basically a minimum tax refund for people who don't make enough money to get a tax refund. That's sort of what it is, right?
That's correct.
And so that got killed. Is the legislative black caucus, that was really important to those guys, to that group of lawmakers. Is there something else that will assuage their concerns and to get them to go along with the budget?
All I can look at is how the House voted for the budget yesterday, and those were strong votes. Only 5 people, I believe, voted against the budget in the House yesterday. So that's a strong indication that there's a strong consensus building in the House, and I believe that same consensus is building in the Senate.